Fabrizio Romano gives a big and breaking Dan Ashworth update. What is the latest on the Manchester United takeover front? Because it's not just Dan Ashworth who looks to be coming in the next few days. Then we've got transfer news on Rashford, a Man United star being sold with a big sell-on fee, and some other rumours coming in after the rumours of yesterday. And then we're going to dive into some of talk on Sancho selling players, and then right into the Luton game. We're going to preview the Luton game. What's the rumoured lineup? What's the predicted lineup? What's the team news? Who's in the elite lineup? All of that stuff. So let's get right into the video. So please do hit the like button and of course subscribe down below if you're new. And we're going to start with what Fabrizio Romano has come out and said today. He said Manchester United are going to push again in the next week to get a deal done with Newcastle for Dan Ashworth as they want him as soon as possible. He said this: Dan Ashworth has agreed to join Manchester United. Out of the mouth of Fabrizio Romano, Dan Ashworth has agreed to join. He believes this is the perfect project for present and future, and that Manchester United are working on bringing in Jason Wilcox. He would work together with Dan Ashworth as co-sporting director. Now, this first story is really big for me. Yes, Dan Ashworth is not done yet. Yes, there's more to happen. Yes, United have got to agree compensation with Newcastle, and that's going to be difficult. But it's the fact that Dan Ashworth has agreed to join United, a team he rejected a few years ago because he didn't want to work under Murta. The fact that it's come from Romano, but the fact that Romano said that Ashworth believes this is the perfect project for present and future. Ashworth and Omar Barada wouldn't work with Ineos if they thought they weren't going to be given the freedom and the reins to do what they need to do to change United. Ashworth and Omar Barada wouldn't come to United if they didn't think they were going to be given power and control. For me, the most important thing was, okay, now apparently when Ratcliffe got the deal, he was going to be given sporting control, but I was like, I don't trust these Glazers. We'll have to see. For me, the fact that Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth want to come to United, and it looks like Dan Ashworth will come to United, says to me, okay, actually, it looks like Ineos will be given the power to do the changes that need to be done. I guess Jim Ratcliffe isn't stupid. He's not going to buy 25% if he doesn't think that he's going to get power and control. But Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth coming in, wanting to be part of the project, is reassuring to me to say, you know what, I was sceptical about Ineos. I was sceptical about Ratcliffe. I was full sell only, Glazers out. I'm very clear on that. But if these people are coming to United because they believe in the project, I believe that actually what we're building right now is looking very positive. What the direction we're going is looking positive. And it's the first time in a long time I felt some long-term hope about United that finally we're going to fix our problems. Now, I want to get more into the transfer news, quickly skip through that, and of course the news ahead of the Luton game, as I don't want this video to be too long. But obviously rumours going about that PSG have included Rashford in the shortlist of potential and back replacements. I feel like everyone knows that Rashford would be a name on that list. I don't think Rashford will go. Maybe there's a massive offer coming in and Rashford doesn't want to stay at United. He's not happy. Ineos might sell him. But I think when you think about the amount of players that we need to sell and the amount of players that need to go, there's at least 10 names that need to come out of United before we debate whether Rashford should stay or go. Yes, Rashford hasn't been good enough this season, but Rashford isn't anywhere near one of our worst players that definitely need to go. We need to get rid of players that have been crap the last few seasons. Then Rashford, it's very much like you've got to perform next season. Rashford, you've got to sort it out. You've got to get back in form for me, because I know there's a good player in Rashford. We've just not seen it this season. Whereas I know there's some players at United that aren't good players, that are okay players. And at United, you can't be okay. You've got to be good. Also, rumours that Bayer Leverkusen are interested in Teden Mengi from Luton Town. Now, Man United sold Teden Mengi for like less than £1 million. It was ridiculous how cheap we sold them for, but I get there was injury problems and stuff. But apparently there's a big sell-on clause in that. So hopefully we get a bit of money if Luton do end up selling him. Apparently Fulham and Palace are also interested in Teden Mengi, and I think he had an injury issue, so we had to kind of sell him, and maybe we had to sell him on the cheap because of that. And I think we do sell our young players too cheap, but it's really good to see Teden Mengi succeeding, doing well. I wish him all the best in the future, and the fact that Leverkusen, who have won nearly every game this season, are looking at him speaks highly. And then lastly, in terms of transfer news, because I do want to get to the other news, is that United will sign a striker in the summer. The directors have to decide whether to sign an experienced striker or a young striker. Romano is confirming that, yeah, Man United will sign a striker. That is the plan. Will they be looking at someone experienced on the cheap, or will they be looking at someone young like Tell, Xerxes, Sesko are three that we have been linked to. And I guess maybe we need experience, but then I also like the idea of Tell and the young ones, because I almost feel like Højlund, being a Man United striker, the main striker at United for a full year, the experience that Højlund's probably got in the last year is like having 3 years of experience at another club, but just because of the media pressure of United and the responsibility on it. Maybe that's just me, but I don't know if my point makes sense. Now, I want to talk about Sancho, and I touched upon this in my live stream. It's only one game, so I'm not going to say that Sancho's loan's a flop or it's failed, but so far he hasn't been impressive. He's been on the bench. I know he's been injured. I know he hasn't played in a while. I know there's a multitude of factors coming in, but it wasn't great today. He got subbed off. And I really want Sancho to do well on loan. I don't want Sancho back at United, even if Ten Hag goes. I don't want Sancho back at United because he refused to play for the manager, and that is the same as refusing to play for the club. I want Sancho to do well on loan because I want to be able to sell him, and it will be difficult to sell him if his loan continues like this at Borussia Dortmund. Because for me, it's really important that players like Sancho and Antony, we get out. They've not been good enough for United the last year or two. Antony, while he works hard, just not good enough. Sancho, while I think he's got the quality, doesn't have the attitude. For me, they're two very difficult players to sell because one, they haven't been good enough, and two, they're on high wages. But I want them out so we can fund bringing in Nico Williams and either one of Elise and Neto. Nico Williams, 43 million release clause, sign one of Elise or Neto, depending on injuries, depending on what we think is the right fit. Sancho and Antony out. That's what I want United to do. If United do that, amazing. Do I think we'll do that? No. But we need those players out. McTominay, Lindelof will be somewhat straightforward to sell. It's the Sanchos we need into a form at Dortmund on loan. It's the Antonys we need someone to come by in, because ultimately I don't think they're in the long-term project for United. Now I want to dive into the Manchester United versus Luton Town news, and more so get into the Manchester United starting 11. Reports suggest that Luke Shaw will be available to play. Kambwala could also be an option at left back if they assess Luke Shaw on the day or later today and they don't think he's ready to play. There's obviously Lindelof and Amrabat that can play left back, but Malacia, Mount and Wan-Bissaka indefinite outs. But I did say I think Amad Diallo must get minutes. So now I'm going to get my starting 11 up for Manchester United versus Luton. This is my predicted starting 11. This is what I think Ten Hag is going to do. And I saw people calling for Bayendier to play, but Onana was brilliant last game. Let's be honest, even if you don't like Onana, he was very, very good versus Aston Villa. So you have to give him props for that. Now, if Luke Shaw is fit and ready to play, I'd play him. But if there's any doubts about Luke Shaw or any risk, don't play him, because we can't have him out for the City game, for bigger games. We've got games like Manchester City coming up. If there's any doubt about Luke Shaw, don't play him. Play Kambwala at right back and Delo at left back, or play Delo at right back and Amrabat at left back. The centre-back pairing, I think, should be very straightforward. It's going to be Maguire and Varane. Maguire was really, really good last game out as well, so super impressed to see that actually Maguire, when he's played this season, has been very good. And I think taking the captain's armband off him and taking that pressure off him has been very, very beneficial. I would play Casemiro DM. I thought he was very good in the second half versus Aston Villa. And I think with Casemiro, he's been a little bit hit and miss this season, but I think he's one of those players, almost like Wayne Rooney sometimes was back in the day, that almost would need 2 or 3 or 4 games in a row just to get that fitness and those legs up to playing again. Of course, Kobbie Mainoo in the middle there, such an important player, so crucial in that winning goal as well, the way he controlled the ball. And of course, Bruno Fernandes. And then up front, it will be Rasmus Højlund, Rashford and Garnacho. I think now we've got one game a week, it will be pretty much an unchanged squad. But I did say this, I want to see Amad Diallo given minutes. Garnacho has played, and Garnacho deserves to play pretty much every minute for the last couple of games. And I'm not opposed to Amad Diallo coming in for A, Rashford, if he's having a poor game, move Garnacho to the left, put Amad on the right, but B, giving Garnacho a rest maybe in the 60th minute and bringing on Amad Diallo. I really want to see Amad given an opportunity. I saw some training videos of him this week and I thought he was really good. So that is the lineup I believe United will play. That is my predicted lineup. There's potential for maybe Luke Shaw to be out, and that's going to be the big question mark. Maybe Amrabat will be there, maybe Lindelof will be there. But I think for the most part, that will be the lineup. Some rumours that McTominay is going to start tomorrow, but I think Ten Hag's realised that McTominay's best role is coming off the bench, and that this current team is our best midfield. But that is my lineup versus Luton, and I keep wanting to say Villa, but I mean Luton, because for some reason in my head I keep thinking we're playing Aston Villa tomorrow, even though we played them last week. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the news. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've said. If you think I'm just chatting absolute rubbish, you can tell me that as well. You're not always going to agree with me. Football is all about opinion, but this is my lineup. This was the news. Thank you for watching. Bye.